Good afternoon, Priory. Good afternoon, friends. Today is a day that has been focused on awards. I have been doing voiceover work a good part of today, getting ready for a statewide awards program that usually happens in June, face-to-face in a banquet. And this year, because of COVID, we had to cancel that banquet, and so we're doing the whole thing virtual. And I usually present that live, and this time I'm having to figure out all the ins and outs of getting the voiceover work done and getting it to match up with the slides and all that stuff. So it's been that kind of day. I don't have a lot of voice left from it. But I was thinking on my way home here, this is an awards program where we submit our work to a body of judges, and those judges critique it, and they decide who are the best ones of the entries to win awards. And so they range anywhere from print ads to radio ads to billboards to multimedia campaigns to public relations partnerships with other community involvement, and there's a whole lot of awards. I don't even know how many. The slideshow itself that I do the voiceover with is about 230 slides, so it's a big production. And the bottom line is, you take all of the work from the previous year that you want to enter in various categories, and you submit them for approval, and then you wait for feedback from the judges, who tell you what they liked, what they would have done differently, sometimes flat out what they didn't like. And then what they do is they rank them, and then they present awards, and I do the reading. Got to thinking about that, and this really is about feedback. We're wanting our work to be honored. We never submit something for the judging that we believe is mediocre. We want to submit our best work so that work is what the judges take a look at and measure that with the other individuals in the category in order to come up with the winners. Boy, isn't that an interesting concept? And this happens in writing and newspapers and all kinds of different markets or industries. So how does that apply? What do you do with your work? The work that you are doing, whether it's for an employer or for your Lord. Are you doing your best work all the time, or are you doing mediocre work, hoping that none of the judges will take notice? And are you somebody that constantly seeks feedback? Before I went through clinical pastoral education, I used to not be very receptive of people's feedback. If they didn't have something nice to say about my work, I didn't want to hear it. Now I understand that hearing constructive feedback is as important as hearing positive feedback. Yeah, the positive feedback strokes my ego a little bit, makes me feel better about the work that I did, but the constructive feedback is long-term actually better because it helps me to improve. Our work doesn't need to be rewarded by the eyes of men, by people who we come in contact with. Our work, our focus should be doing a job that is worthy of commendation from the ultimate judge, God the Father. So when you start looking at that, what type of work is important for us to submit to Him? The mediocre work that perhaps is not going to get very good feedback or reviews, or is it more important to always work as if we are working unto the Lord and submit all of our work to Him? And then the feedback that we get may not be on this earth. The Bible tells us that we should lay up for ourselves treasures in heaven, where the thief can't steal it, the moth can't eat it, nothing could destroy it. We need to be working as unto the Lord all the time. And then seeking God's feedback. Lord, how could I have done this better? Lord, how could I have brought you more glory in this work that I've performed? And stop being so focused on what everybody else around you thinks. If you worry about what God thinks, the rest will all fall into place. And then when He looks at you and He sees you on that day when you meet Him face to face, and He says, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant, enter into the joy of your reward," boy, howdy. That's the best reward. That's better than any banquet or any piece of glass sitting on your desk or any item in a picture frame or any good feeling that you have about yourself in your heart. Hearing Jesus say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." That is what it's all about. I hope you have a good night.